Welcome everybody to this webinar about examples of nature-based solutions in food systems. This is a webinar that we are organizing in the Food Systems Innovation Challenge that we are organizing this year. Welcome everybody. So what are we going to do today? Well, first I will introduce the Food Systems Innovation Challenge. I will tell you some details on how to apply as a student and the timeline, etc. Then we will have some very interesting speakers. Uma Kumaroy, it's an Indonesian name, I'm not so familiar with that. But Uma will tell us about her lighthouse farm in Indonesia, and she will give you some examples that you can think of if you are writing your project proposal for the Food Systems Innovation Challenge. Then Muhammad will take over the floor, and he will talk about his student project on Azolla in Indonesia. And then we have speaker Kate Negash from the University in Amsterdam, and she will talk about salt-tolerant plants. And we will stop with a Q&A and some more information about the challenge. So the host of today, that's myself, Mirjam Troost. I'm the project leader of BUR Student Challenges at Wageningen University and Research. And you'll see here Jasmin Dijksterhuis, you will see her later. She will announce all the speakers, and she's helping us here organizing the challenge. Yeah, Jasmin, I just wanted to ask you to enter and tell a little bit about yourself, please. Oh, Jasmin, we don't hear you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jasmin. I work for Wageningen University and Research. For this year's edition of the Food Systems Innovation Challenge, I'll be coordinating this challenge together with Mirjam and other colleagues. Myself, I have a background in sustainable food production and plant sciences, so I'm very excited to read all of your concept notes soon. That will be submitted later this year.
Okay, thank you so much, Jasmin. We will see Jasmin later in the webinar. So if you have any questions, remarks in between, please use the chat. You will see that in your screen. We will respond to them in the chat where possible, and we will also have a questions and answers session in 45 minutes. We have some polls prepared for you, so we invite you to participate in them. And of course, you can always check our website. You see the website here in the screen. We can also, maybe Jasmin or Caitlin, you can put it in the chat. Oh, sorry, wait. So the Food Systems Innovation Challenge. My apologies for everybody who already attended last week in the info session. You already heard this story, but it's good to repeat maybe, and there are some new people that registered for this webinar. So I will take some time to explain the challenge, and then we dive into the content. So the Food Systems Innovation Challenge is a student competition where 2 teams of 4 to 8 students from each participating university can collaborate. It's project-based, so we ask you to design and implement a food systems innovation in your own surroundings. So it can be around your campus, can be in the village you come from. It can be, well, as long as you can have access to it and you have a possibility to start a project there. We ask you to link to the National Pathways to Sustainable Food Systems. Please check our website in the concept note for a link to those pathways. And we ask you to apply nature-based solutions. And since that is a nice and very interesting combination, nature-based solutions and food systems, that's where we are organizing these webinars to help you a little bit with ideas for your own project development. You can compete by handing in a concept note or apply before the 1st of April. And then the 23rd of April, we announce all the selected teams that will receive seed funding of up to €1,000 and mentoring and workshops from April till September, where we have the finals in Wageningen at the end of September. And we provide the winning teams at the finals with award money and a direct ticket to Youth Food Lab, which is an incubation program that we organized together with IAS and the World Food Forum of FAO. These are the participating universities, so take a closer look. So only students from these universities can form teams. You can invite students from other universities, and please take a look at our website if you are planning so you see all the rules there. Well, you see the list here. The list is also on the website. Every university has its own coordinator, you can send us an email. You can go to our website. You can send an email if you want to have the contact details of the coordinator at your own university. But here are all the people that are involved in our challenge. Thank you very much. At each university, we also organize info sessions. Last week, we already had some in Nepal and Indonesia. But the others, they are still following. Oh no, Kenya also already had their info session. But this list is also on the website. You are invited to come. So these are the rules for team formation. So you make a team of 4 to 8 students. We recommend you to form a team of students with different disciplinary backgrounds. So maybe agricultural economics, with bioscience. So you can name it. You can make disciplinary mixed teams. You can come from different universities, but at least 2 of the team members should be from a participating university of the 2 slides before. And also at least 2 of the team members should be on the site where the project is during the challenge period. So because we expect you to really build something or to really be busy with the seed funding and with the mentoring, the workshops. So we really want to see some results after in September. Recent graduates are welcome, but it's a maximum of 1 recent graduate per team. And with recent graduates, it's including PhD students. So I will go to the next slide. This is a slide especially for students from Wageningen University and Research. We invite you to register individually, and we will match you with a team from one of the other participating universities. So please, if you're from Wageningen University and Research, you can come to our info session on the 20th of February in Plus Ultra 2, and we can explain a little bit more about that. So go to our website to register. The registration form is online. You will also find a format of the concept note that you have to fill in and submit. So you cannot participate without filling in the concept note and the right version of the concept note. The timeline is that we are now in the middle of all the kickoff webinars, and we start the student registration. 1st of April is the deadline. 23rd of April, we will announce the teams, and then everybody starts working very hard. And the grand finals will be in Wageningen at the end of September. And below you will see that the winning teams get award money and direct tickets to the Youth Food Lab Incubation Program. Next week, we will have another webinar on examples of nature-based solutions with different speakers. We will have speakers from Brazil and from the Netherlands. Then on the 11th of March, we will host a webinar on how to write a concept note for the Food Systems Innovation Challenge. And the 18th of March, you have a chance to ask all your questions that you still have. So that you can register through the website. You can find all the links there, or you can quickly scan the QR code while it's still on screen. So we cannot organize this challenge without all our partners. So I want to thank you, partners, for your financial contributions and also for your knowledge contributions. And below you see the whole list of partner universities that are with us in this challenge. So with no further ado, I want to ask Yasmin to come back to the stage and start introducing the speakers. Don't forget to ask all your questions in the chat, and I will see you later.
Thank you, Miriam. Well, today we have 3 very interesting speakers that will share with you their project and studies related to nature-based solutions in a food system context. First, I would like to introduce you to Uma Kumaroy. Uma is a researcher associated with the Brawijaya University in Indonesia and Wageningen University in Research in the Netherlands. For the past decades, her work on complex rice systems has made significant impact for smallholder farms in Indonesia. by integrating aquatic ferns like azolla, fish, ducks, border plants into rice production. She has enhanced biological and ecological processes such as nutrient cycling and the reduction of harmful chemicals. And this approach has greatly improved the resilience and the sustainability of rice production in the region. Uma is also representing the Global Lighthouse Farm Network today. Next, we have Muhammad Farhankasi from Indonesia. Muhammad is a team leader of Green Harmony. They are targeting water pollution, soil degradation, and climate change through the usage of the tiny ferns called azolla, which can be used as a good organic fertilizer feed besides filtering water. Muhammad joined the Youth Food Lab Incubator Program in 2024, which is organized by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, Wageningen University and Research, and the International Association of Agriculture and Related Sciences. The winning teams of the 2025 Food Systems Innovation Challenge, they will also get invited for this incubator program. And then we have Kate Nagas. She is assistant professor at Vrije Universiteit in Amsterdam, located in the Netherlands, working on governance for biodiversity and food systems. Her research focuses on non-state and subnational actors in the global biodiversity governance and the potential of saline degraded lands for sustainable food production. Also, currently, she is the vice chair of the FAO International Network of Salt-Affected Soils. So I would like to ask Uma to start with her presentation.
Thank you, Yasmin. Good afternoon, everyone. As already mentioned by Yasmin, my name is Uma Humairo. I'm a representative of Global Lighthouse Farm Network in Indonesia. I also saw Andi Bakhtiar there, but I do not know if this is the correct Andi or not. Andi was also our partner for Lighthouse Academy in Indonesia. Okay, today I will talk about complex rice system as a nature-based example of a nature-based solution. Rice is a very important commodities. It's the main food, a staple food in Indonesia. It's consumed by more than half of world population, which mainly like 90% are consumed in Asia. However, rice is always it many times accused as contributors as in global warming and climate change, because the flooded system in rice is not only inefficient in water use, but this flooded system creates anaerobic condition that emit methane gas, and the majority of rice farmers they burn their straw that also release carbon dioxide to the air, also contribute to global warming. This is the current situation in the rice production system. But on the other hand, at the same time, besides contributing to climate change and global warming, rice also very susceptible to climate change. For example, during wet season, many like modern modern approach like the utilization of pesticides, fertilizers, they are not effective to solve the problem in rice. For example, in during heavy rain, the use of pesticides is it's easily to how do you call it to wash off by the heavy rain, and then farmer respond to this by giving more pesticide and more, and finally it's create a pest outbreak there. And also during the prolonged wet season, the photosynthesis is reduced, and many aspects such as weather situation also increase the development of pests there. So then, another thing is during the wet season, the use of fertilizers, many time uh, it's not really uptaken by plant because heavy rain can wash off the fertilizer as well. So that's why we think that the nature-based solution is the alternative during this extreme weather condition. So this nature-based solution, it can be, it include the use of plants, animals, their residues, etc. And based on our experience, we did a lot of observation on those species. Sorry. And we also communicate with farmers to investigate the indigenous knowledge on how to use those species. So communication with farmers is the key for this nature-based solution. So then why we come up with this at least 4 elements. We use Azolla as because Azolla contains a lot of nitrogen and it's easily to be grown, and so it can be used not only as fertilizers but also can be used as feed for animal. And we also use fish and ducks because they can their behavior is like they like to eat rice enemies and also weeds in rice system. We also have border plants there. So all these 4 elements traditionally already in the rice system, but were not completely integrated by current farmers. So we call this system as complex rice system, defined as the diversity of farm component, including integration of plant, animal, and the management that are purposely assembled to enhance biological or ecological processes in agro-ecosystem, such as for nutrient cycling, weed, and pest suppression. And this is some example of a complex rice system. If you see the top left picture, the rice and duck, it was the experiment of Andi Bakhtiar. Yeah, at that time he was a MOA student and he did complex rice system in West Java. So in the bottom part was duck and rice in Malang. And in the right side was rice and fish in Lamongan. And these were pictures in one of our project in Bali. So after harvesting rice, we collect straw there. Instead of burning, we did composting rice straw together with other plant residues and also with the duck manure. So then its farmers can easily get their input without burden to transport organic fertilizer from outside of the farms. And this also some example of complex rice system. The two picture on top were picture taken from Lamongan. They have rice, fish, and maize as a border plant. So maize was grown as feed for fish. So the maize harvested and then boil and fed to the fish there. And the bottom part were the left side were border plants with rice, and then the right side is azolla, fish, and also rice. And this picture taken from above. So yeah, it's the border plants together with rice and fish there. This is also other example of complex rice system. And yeah, the interaction between azolla, duck, fish, and border plant can be animated to in this picture. Azolla prevents weed to emerge because azolla live on water surface, so then weed could not raise to the water surface. And then azolla also a nitrogen fixing plant that can be used as a fertilizer for rice. Azolla also eaten by duck and fish, which I think later Muhammad will talk about azolla as feed and yeah, etc. And then when growing rice, of course, many pests come. And then fish and ducks here, they have function in controlling pests. While for border plant with their flowers can attract natural enemies, and then natural enemies reproduce in this border plant because a border plant provides shelter for them. So it can be like a double protection to rice plant from their pests. So, and these all elements, they are resilient to any climate change. For example, the heavy rain even will make fish and ducks nurture in the system. This some example of the result of our experiment when we slaughter the ducks and then we investigate the gizzard content. We saw in the gizzard there were insect, there were wheat, and also azolla. And we can see here the how do you call it? The orange color here, it's wheat, and the azolla, the gizzard, the duck gizzard contain approximately 50% of wheat. So then that's why as duck is a really uh, a good solution to suppress wheat. And while the pests and insect, they are more or less between 10 to 20% in the duck gizzard. But of course, this also can change depending on what time we investigate the duck gizzard. Yeah. So yeah, this is also other result of yeah, from our experiment on it's focused on wheat biomass, where the complex system, the blue one here, the wheat is a complex system, and the density of wheat were always the lowest from first, second, third, fourth, and fifth cropping cycle as well. And from our first experiment, we tried to see the rice yield. So this picture show that the more complex system can produce the higher rice yield. Yeah, this is another experiment showing that the yield of rice in complex system were more stable compared to the conventional. The complex rice system demonstrated by yellow signs here, and then the conventional system with blue one here. Yeah, sometimes conventional can be very high, but also can be very low here, while the complex rice system is more stable. And yeah, we can leave this, and yeah, this is another figure on how complex rice system contribute to nutrition for farmer. So we see here that complex rice system harvest more nutrient compared to when we grow rice only. And yeah, we can skip this one. And yeah, finally, I can say that yeah, there are the biodiversity in agricultural system is basis for many ecosystem services. So we can really use biodiversity to solve many problem in farming system. Yeah, it's provide a large potential for synergies, and yeah, and they still work during the extreme weather condition, not like synthetic fertilizer or pesticide that can easily degrade during uh, uh, climate change or extreme weather. But of course, I always emphasize here the communication with farmers will, yeah, will be a key success to develop the system. So that's all from me. Thank you, Yasmin. You are muted.
Thank you very much, Uma, for the very nice presentation. We will go on with Mohammed. Mohammed, yes, we see you. Thank you very much. Mohammed, you are muted.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone, professionals, innovators from around the world. Thank you for having me. My name is Mat Farangezi, and I'm really honored to lead this session as the representative of Green Harmony on how a tiny water fern can help to transform agriculture, water management, and also food security as a nature-based solution. And before we get there, let me share a bit about my team's journey, which I believe might resonate with many of you, especially those who might want to work on projects or participate in the student challenge. And for those who might not know, we are part of the Youth Food Lab 2024, so we are all students. And at the start, we thought the project was going to be a breeze, but we were like, hey, how hard can it be? We got this. But let me tell you something. Reality hit us harder than a cup of coffee on a Monday morning. Our first mistake, it always like, we just finish that part later, no problem. And then that later turned into tomorrow, and tomorrow turned to next week, and so on and so on. You know the drill. At one point, we actually convinced ourselves that we were pioneers of the innovation until the deadline came rushing at us like a freight train. And we were stuck in the everything will be fine, and everything wasn't fine. So as we go through today's session, I want you to keep this little tale in mind. just a reminder that deadlines, compromise might seem like a fun idea when you're feeling confident, but trust me, they can come back to bite at you. And so today we will discuss the potential of Azolla, implementation, and also solution to tackle eutrophication. So Mr. Umar before talked about the Azolla, about the complex rice system, and now we will talk about focusing on the Azolla in probably, let's say, a more student-friendly way. All right. So before we dive into solutions, let's take a moment to reflect on the pressing challenge that we face in the global food system. As a student, I have seen the reality in our food system, especially in Indonesia. There is a minimum effort, let's say, in the majority of the sustainability part in our food system. There is a soil degradation accelerated by the overuse of synthetic fertilizer and also monocropping. It continues to erode the soil health. There is also water pollution caused by excess fertilizer runoff and livestock waste. They had led to toxic algal blooms, disrupting aquatic ecosystem and also threatening biodiversity. And there is a climate change driven by the unsustainable agricultural practices is increasing the frequency, but now I barely see this issue coming up again, whether it's in social media, LinkedIn, or any other means. And I feel like this is something that we have to put our attention because this is really, really important. And I don't know what happens that we just barely see that coming up. And that being said, these environmental issues are not isolated. In fact, they are interconnected, influencing one another and perpetuating a cycle that undermines our ability to feed on a growing global population. However, there is still hope. As the food system industry evolves, innovative solutions are emerging to address these challenges. And how can we find our sustainability? The answer is to search in our surrounding. And maybe I want to ask about all of the participants here about did you find your very own sustainable innovation? Because sometimes it's just different in every country, and I believe that every country has their characteristic, and you can find one in your surroundings. One such solution is Green Harmony, a project focused on the leveraging Azolla as a natural remedy for some of the most pressing issues in agriculture, water management, and also in food production. But why Azolla? The reason why we choose Azolla, the first one, of course, is potential. They have a high protein content, making it a potential food and feed for the animals, and also they have a rapid growth characteristic. And then there is a eco-friendliness. They have naturally absorbed the excess nutrients from the water, purifying the water, and controlling the eutrophication, which we will talk about later. And after that, Azolla have that versatility, where Azolla can be used in agriculture, aquaculture, and even in livestock farming to boost the productivity and also the sustainability. We made the comparison here, and where we found that using Azolla can increase the productivity by 30 to 40% just by integrating Azolla into our food system. And then we also create a system ourselves that we can increase both up to 60% of the productivity compared to the traditional one. And it's a win-win solution. But again, it can apply different in your land because we are comparing it to our farmers that is in fact partnering with us. So probably if you are comparing it with your land, it might be different. And we will thought that something in our surrounding, in Azolla, in our surrounding, can achieve this outstanding number, given that it's all nature-based. So it's just a matter of time, let's say, to change from the chemical into the organic one. And let's take a deeper look at how Azolla works at Green Harmony. So we are actively working on scaling the use of Azolla in agriculture, aquaculture, livestock, and as well as exploring its potential in creating a new food products. In agriculture, Azolla has the potential to replace synthetic fertilizer by acting as a natural nitrogen fixing agent, and this reduces the reliance on chemical fertilizer, preventing soil degradation and also the soil fertility. As for the aquaculture and livestock, Azolla serves as the excellent feed, rich in nutrients, environmental friendly. Also, you can use it to a nature-friendly filtration system. And what we did, there is two ways that you can give Azolla to our, let's say, aquaculture and also livestock. The first one is the fresh bulk. So you take the Azolla from the pond and then just give it away. And the second one is a mixed method. When you mix it, probably it's a bit dry. you have to try the Azolla first, and then you can mix it with your original feeds. And both ways, they can improve the livestock health and also productivity while reducing the environmental footprint on the farming operations. And we can also imagine Azolla-based food products like cookies or other snack items. Why not? Combining sustainability with nutritional benefits, and this can help to provide food security while addressing the environmental concerns. And we will talk about eutrophication. One of the most critical issues we face today, eutrophication, overload of nutrients in the water bodies, often caused by flooding, erosion, mining, and so on. This nutrient overload leads to harmful algal blooms that choke out aquatic life, including our beloved fish and other biodiversity. And now the real question is, do we turn this challenge into an opportunity, or we just keep pretending it's not there? It's like finding a hidden treasure chest full of gold in the middle of a river, plenty of nutrients just waiting to be used, but instead of mining it, we're just standing around, wondering why the river smells funny. And I can say that Azolla is like a nature superhero for our water bodies. It swoops in to save the day by absorbing excess nutrients like a sponge, especially the nitrogen, phosphorus that fuel the harmful algal blooms, which these blooms not only make our waters look like a science experiment gone wrong, but also deprive the aquatic life of oxygen, leading to a biodiversity loss. And by absorbing this nutrient, Azolla helps to prevent those algal blooms to restore the natural balance of the ecosystem. And we can imagine Azolla as the cleanup crew, turning polluted water into thriving habitat for fish and other creatures. It's like giving the river much needed detox. So the best part is Azolla doesn't just clean up water and disappear. They have a rapid growth. It's like a plant that never sleeps. So what we do with the extra Azolla, we just don't throw it away. Instead, we can harness its potential in multiple ways. As we said before, we can use it for feed, fertilizer, food, basically anything you want. If you have an innovation, then it will be much, much better than that. So instead of just letting Azolla go to waste, we can turn the Azolla that is facing the challenge into valuable resource in the food and agriculture industries. I think it's a win-win solution, both for the environment and also food securities. And as leaders and innovators in the food system industry, we are in a unique position to drive change. Green Harmony works with Azolla represent a crucial step towards a sustainable food system. But we need your expertise and collaboration to scale these solutions globally. So how can you contribute? Let's just assume that you are part of Green Harmony. Here's what you can do. First one, you can integrate Azolla into your agriculture and aquaculture system to reduce the reliance on synthetic chemical and enhance sustainability, such as what Ms. Uma done before. And if you want to, you can also partner up with us in ongoing research to explore the new application of Azolla in food production and also waste management. And if you are advocate for policy change, then I believe that you are supporting the sustainable farming practices, and I want you to keep supporting the sustainable farming practice and also encourage the adoption of nature-based solutions like Azolla. And together, we can shape a future where food systems are not only sustainable, but also regenerative, creating a healthier planet for the future generations. I think that's it. Thank you for your time and attention today. We are excited about all of the participants here, the potential of your innovation to revolutionize the food system, and also I'm looking forward to collaborate with all of you guys here to make this vision into a reality. And if you have any question or would like to learn more about our research and how can you get involved, please don't hesitate to reach out. My name is Manfred Josie from Green Harmony. The future is shaped. Giving back to Yasmin. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. It was a very, very, very nice presentation. Next, we will have Kate as a speaker. I would like to welcome Kate on stage.
Thank you very much, Yasmin. My name is Kate Negec and I'm from the Vrije Universiteit in Amsterdam. Very happy to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation. And I'm also happy to tell you more about Celenti and nature-based solutions. And Celenti has many faces. That's why it also comes through FAO, and that's where I serve as the Vice Chair of International Network of Salt-Affected Soils, where we look into challenges, but also into the opportunities that are related to this phenomenon. Today, I would like to talk a little bit more about halophytes. Halophytes are the salt-loving plants, so the plants that thrive in the environments affected by salinity. I will soon tell you a little bit more about how salinization comes to place. And when we think about salinity, we may think about the Aral Sea. Aral Sea is one of the big inland lakes that dried up. This is why you can see now the ships lying on the bottom of this lake. Aral Sea stretches through a few countries in Central Asia, in Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and it used to be a fertile region. However, now, as you can see, it's one big desert. People experience pesticide storms, and the ground has been salinized to a very hard extent. It means that the soil contains more salt than usually, and because of that, the plant growth is affected. Some plants have lower yields, so grow less well, but the others, they can't really germinate and grow at all. And because of that, farmers' income and livelihoods are also affected. As you can see, the lake is not there anymore, so aquaculture or fisheries are gone as well. And this is why we need to act. We need to act and find solutions to improve people's livelihood in the regions affected by salinity. Salinity is a process that is affected by climate change, but has a few different concepts interrelated. So first, food, because of course it affects the agriculture, but also biodiversity. We know that the agricultural saline areas, both natural and human-made, and you can see here a picture from Egypt where we've been with one of our projects, where we see very high soil salinity, but people still try to grow crops there. And there's, of course, agricultural biodiversity in that region. However, in other countries, for example, in Bangladesh, we also see salinity occurring not in the dry areas, but actually in the delta. And these are highly biodiverse salty marshes that are housed to tigers, but also nurseries for fish, for mangroves, and many, many other species serving as a key ecosystem services and also supporting people in many ways. This is why we see more and more initiatives looking into salinity and trying to tackle these challenges and think about solutions. And we know that this is a problem affecting many countries around the world, actually more than 75 countries, including Bangladesh, Vietnam, Indonesia, but also Kenya, Mozambique, Egypt, Morocco, Colombia, Argentina, and a few countries in Europe as well, including the Netherlands, or Spain or Portugal. So we see that there are different phases of salinity. And we know that the total area is around 9% of the total land. But by 2050, it's going to be 50% of the total arable land. So we're going to deal with salinity more and more. This is why we need to act. And in order to act, we also came up with a new project, a project that is trying to understand and apply saline agriculture as a nature-based solution, bringing together biodiversity and human well-being in this saline landscapes. What is saline agriculture? It's the agriculture that takes into account salinity and employs different soil, water, and plant management techniques in order to make growing different plants possible on salt-affected soils. Here on the left, you can see the soil affected by salinity. It has a typical white crust, and you can see that it's actually that the vegetation is scarce. A lot of plants have died and only a few survive. This is a typical situation. And some plants, known as halophytes, then they can actually do really, really well in the saline environments, better than non-saline ones. And this is why we also want to focus on them and use them as one of the nature-based solutions. So this is the new project that we're about to start, Salty Beets. It will be beginning actually next month, and we will be looking at halophytes, One of them you can see here on the picture, which can increase biodiversity in natural and agricultural saline systems and help farmers to deal with salinity. There are many different solutions that come as saline agriculture, but I will talk about it in a second. We also aim to look at the innovative design of saline farming through this range of different solutions. So how we can actually make sure that the food production increases. And here you can see a couple of different types of vegetables and fruit that have been harvested in Cabo Verde. This is another country dealing with soil salinity, and they also try different solutions. They, for example, work a lot with hydroponics because of the type of soil that they have. Another thing we're going to look at is upscaling and stakeholder policy interaction, because by now we know that a lot of crops have salt-tolerant varieties, and we can employ that as one of the nature-based solutions. But very often there's a problem of societal nature. So to give an example, in one of the projects, Dutch companies managed to work with carrots that developed really well and grew really well in Kenya. But when the local people try this really well yielding carrot, it turned out that the taste is not really acceptable for them. So how do we deal with that? How do we choose the varieties that have acceptable taste for the local communities? This is one of the key questions that we want to tackle. Another example was introduction of the red beet, a very salt-tolerant plant in Vietnam. And people who are from Vietnam may also wonder, well, there's only one dish, Vietnamese dish, that takes into account red beet. So the local farmer was like, great, it's doing really well, but there is no market. So this is another interesting question, how one can actually create a market niche or choose the right composition of plants and crops that can actually support the local economy as well. And further, the policy and stakeholder interactions. So we also want to talk to the policymakers and impact investors to figure out how people and stakeholders within the salinity problem can be supported so that they can learn how to live with salinity. And that brings me to some examples of the nature-based solutions that we will be applying and that are also applied around the world. So in this project, the Salty Beets, we'll listen to biodiversity and we'll also apply a few conventional crops and halophyte mixtures. So we will look at different levels. We will do intercropping, so cropping both halophytes and conventional crops such as potatoes, beetroots, onions, carrots. We will also look at the crop rotation systems, so rotate halophytes and conventional crops. And we will also set up permanent structures in the field margins. So we'll have conventional crops in the field, but halophytes on the field margins. Here you can see an interesting picture. It's from one of the farms with which we collaborate in Spain. Here are the oranges that you may probably find in the supermarket next to you, because a lot of oranges available in the supermarkets come from Spain. And below, there is one of the typical halophytes, the ice plant. It's the one which is crunchy, fresh, a little bit salty, with a little saline bubbles on the leaves. And the taste can be compared to an oyster. So it has a lot of potential to be used in salads, for example. And when we think about impact, we can think about scientific impact, so the evaluation of different nature-based solutions. And they can be much broader than the halophytes. We can use, for example, different salt-tolerant varieties of conventional crops. We can look at the management techniques, for example, mulching or using organic compost or water harvesting. So it's not only halophytes, but it's way, way beyond. And the broader scientific impact, here looking into the future scenarios for the saltlands. So how can we learn to live with salinity? How we can support these communities using nature-based solutions? And finally, the societal impact, so raising awareness and taking into account participatory activities. Below, I've written a few groups of these stakeholders that may be of interest. So the general audience, academia, policymakers, general group of stakeholders along the value chain. And the little shell that you can see here on my hand, it's the vegetable oyster. It includes the ice plant that I've mentioned, sea banana, and the lamb's oar, which is like lamb's ear, 3 different halophytes that can mimic the taste of the oyster and contribute to more plant-based diets and sustainable solutions for our food systems. So with this slide, I would like to end my presentation and also leave my contact details here for any question. Thanks a lot for listening, and back to you, Yasmin.
Yeah, well, it's not Yasmin appearing, it's me, but thank you so much, Kate. And also thank you to Uma and Mohammed for all the examples that you gave to our students. So there is time also for questions for our speakers. So please put questions in the chat if you want to. But I will give a quick recap on what's next. How can you participate in the challenge? Well, once more, you can go to our website, and the registrations are open till the 1st of April, and you have to fill in a concept note. So you can think of your own project and fill it in the concept note and upload it on our website. Yeah, so I saw some questions in the chat. People are reaching out to each other to see if they can form teams together. So we don't really coordinate the matching of student teams, but I would suggest that you reach out to the coordinator at your own university, or if there's still an on-campus session that's on this list, then please go there. So you will meet other students at your university that are probably also still looking for people to in their team. Another option is that I also put in the chat, email us at studentchallenges@weur.nl, and then I will forward your email to the coordinator at your university so they can help you further. So I saw some people from Kathmandu University, some students. So yeah, feel free to email me. Then I will send it to your coordinator at Kathmandu University, Uma, another Uma. So next week, another webinar with other speakers on examples of nature-based solutions. On the 11th of March, you're welcome to join us on a webinar on how to write a concept note. And the 18th of March, we have another questions and answer session. Yeah, with that, I want to finish the whole presentation, and I would like, yeah, I don't see new questions appearing, or wait, no, I don't see the new questions appearing. I will close the presentation, and I want to ask all the speakers back to the stage. So Uma, Kate, I see Kate already, Mohammed, and Yasmin. Hello, yes. Yeah, so actually we still have 6 minutes. I was talking about Uma, he's the coordinator at Kathmandu University, but we also see our own Uma here from University of Brawijaya, so they have the same name. It's a little bit confusing also for us, but I don't know if we mentioned, I don't think so, that Uma that you see here is the coordinator of the challenge at the University of Brawijaya. I'm the coordinator at Wageningen University and Research, so these are already 2 people you can approach, but there are more coordinators, and they are really the best place if you are looking for students to join your team, then to contact. So please email us, and then I will forward your email. So Yasmin, did you see other questions that I missed, or?
No, I think most of the questions have been answered, and then I just opened a poll about whether people are planning to join the Food Systems Innovation Challenge. Well, the majority is very enthusiastic. 85% is considering joining, and we have a small majority, a small percentage that is not sure yet. But I'm happy with the result. Good to see that everyone is so enthusiastic and probably also inspired after this presentation on nature-based solutions. Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. And oh, and Kate, I saw your snack, the oyster snack. We at the finals of last year, we went to Coppert Crest. This you must know the company, And the owner, Robban, he fed us also with these special small vegetables that really taste very special. So it's a good example of plant-based diets and healthy ones, I guess. I think the salt also adds something that you add less extra salt. But is that salt healthier for your diet than if you add extra salt? Or can you say something about it? I'm just curious. Sorry.
Sure. Good to hear that you enjoy that snack. And yes, it's actually healthier because these plants, when they produce or when they contain salt, they also produce some antioxidants. So in fact, it's healthy to eat them in moderation. Not only them. On the opposite side, if you eat only halophytes, that's not going to be good for you. But most probably, it's not that you're going to replace everything in your diet. So yes, they are more healthy. And also, as an interesting story, for halophytes, they taste more salty. But conventional crops, if they grow on salt-affected lands, they are sweeter in taste. So that can be a nice combination.
Okay. Oh, I did not know that. So please, students, also do your experiments on this in this field. So I saw one question come in from Osama. Will each member be registering on their own, or is it one application that is done? Yeah, it's one application. So you can you have to have 4 to 8 members in your team. So you fill in all the details of every person, and then together you will hand in one concept note. Yeah? So that makes it more important to find team members, actually. Yes.
It's also good to see that the matchmaking process has already started in the group chat. People are connecting with each other.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, and I see some people ask to speak, but we did not. We can see if that works. If I can accept the upper one is Maud. Let me see.
Can I ask to Kate?
Yeah, you can ask something. Yeah.
Yeah, Kate, it's very interesting. Solution. Yeah, I have a question. Do you think that plant can be grown in Indonesia?
Definitely. So there's quite a few plants that are adapted to Indonesian climate, and we can look into that because it can be a promising solution.
So, do you think also that plant can reduce? We have problem in northern part of East Java. It's quite saline soil, so we grew like watermelon, and the taste also become a bit salty. So, I'm thinking if we can combine with this kind of plants, maybe can reduce a bit of salt in the area. So then, then it also can solve several problems in saline area.
That could be a good solution. Squashes and melons, most often they don't deal with salinity that well, but there are some other crops that can do that relatively well. And a lot of halophytes, they actually do phytoremediation. So they extract some of the salt from the substrate or from the soil where they grow. It's a slow process for a small plant, but it can potentially help. So we can also stay in touch regarding that.
Yeah, we can then combine to make a complex rice system more complex then in that area. Watermelon, rice, and how do you call it? Plant?
Yeah, halophytes. Yeah.
Halophyte, yeah.
Yeah, and with the rice, we've also seen quite some actually crop rotation with rice and other salt-tolerant varieties, especially in Vietnam. So I think we can really think about solutions for north of Java as well.
Yeah, good.
Cool. Okay. Very nice. Maybe we have a collaboration here for this as well.
Yeah, or a project for the challenge. I hope the students from Indonesia, Vietnam, they all listened. Then you get a head start. So it's 3:00, so I have to close the webinar. I want to thank all the speakers once more, and I also want to thank the audience, and I want to thank Yasmin for introducing the speakers and helping us in the challenge. And we hope to see you next week, the 18th. for the next webinar with different speakers, and you can register through our website. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having us.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.